Did he always make the cast break character when he did this? That's how I expressed fear when I was, 13. As the films go on, you see less of the kind of, hi British GQ, I'm Rupert Grint and I'm going undercover on the internet. Right. Oh. It's actually me. Let's check Twitter. Film facts. When Prisoner of Azkaban director Alfonso Cuarón wanted to become acquainted with the leads of his movie, he asked each to write an essay on their character. I know where this is going. Emma Watson wrote a 16-page paper. Daniel Radcliffe wrote a one-page summary. Rupert Grint never turned one in. Yeah, that's true. And I have to say, I was doing like my GCSEs. I was doing some like important exams at the time. And also, it's a very kind of Ron thing to do. So, I didn't do it. It was kind of a big change when Alfonso came. Everything kind of felt like we should be taking it more seriously. I mean, he changed a lot. He changed the design of the wands. I really remember that. Everything was kind of darker and a bit more kind of natural. And he wanted to kind of dig deep into the characters, and he gave us this homework. Posted. Is Rupert like M. Night's muse now? I wonder if they'll work together again. Yeah, I don't know if I'd call myself his muse. More his kind of little bitch. It's just a dream to work with him. He's great. Well, actually, he nearly did one of the Potter films. I think he nearly did Potter 3. So I did meet him when I was a kid. Replied, how'd you say that? Kiora. Does Rupert Grint have an ice cream truck? I do. It was my first car. I learned to drive in an ice cream truck. I always wanted one. It was my dream car. And it's great. I mean, the only problem is it only has one seat. But I don't drive it much now because it's just something weird about driving an ice cream van with no ice cream in it. If I ever got pulled over by the police or something, it would take a lot of explaining. And actually, the last time I drove it was on the last day of filming Deathly Hallows party with like a mariachi band, and I served ice cream to the crew. But the weird thing was I had to like drive it home on my own after we kind of wrapped, which was this monumental kind of new headspace to finish something that was just so kind of big part of my life. Yeah, I just remember driving in the ice cream van on my own, kind of considering maybe this could be a career for me. Maybe I could just be an ice cream man now.
Chased down by kids?
Yeah, I did. It did happen a few times, yeah, because, I mean, wherever you park it, people will queue up. People kind of spot it was me, and it was, it must have been pretty surreal. But, yeah, it's fun. Need Rupert or Matthew to confirm this. Alan Rickman took them out for milkshakes during Goblet, and they spilled them all over his sports car. God, that does ring a bell. Yeah, I mean, I can't remember the specifics, but that's really triggered, like, quite a vivid memory. He had this quite kind of intimidating presence. A lot of people lived in fear of him. He was just such a friendly guy. I really kind of think of him as like a strange kind of uncle, kind of really looking out for us. And he was, I do miss him. I wonder what their first impressions were of each other. They seemed to get on straight away. Yeah, we really did. We just had fun and we just kind of went with the flow. And I remember when that photo was taken, that was shortly after we were cast. We never fell out. You never know how it's going to go. You're kind of thrown together multiple screen tests with lots of different Harrys, different Hermiones. I do remember when all three of us were together in a room and it just seemed very easy. It seemed like we knew each other forever, really. Yeah, we had fun. Next. I wonder who Rupert's top 5 drag queens are, minus Jinx, obviously. This event, I went to their dressing room and it was insane. They kind of like half dragged my face. It was, good times. Let's do a top 3. Jinx Monsoon, Silky Ganache. Oh, Sharon Needles. Back to Twitter. Did he always make the cast break character when he did this, or were there directors telling him what to do? Yeah, there's a lot of face stuff. That's how I expressed fear when I was, 13. Really kind of leaned on the big kind of grimace. And it was definitely encouraged by Chris Columbus. He loved it. The films go on, you see less of the kind of... I can still hear Chris Columbus's voice. He would talk you through the takes, because obviously a lot of the time we're kind of seeing nothing there. I mean, I can see one there. We were in the flying car, and a train is coming towards us. Obviously, we can't see the train, so he's always describing what we're seeing. Probably encouraging me to go kind of bigger and bigger and bigger until you reach that level, which is probably the highest level of fear that's possible for a human face. My TV came with a free trial to Apple TV+, so last night I stayed up late watching Servant, which I've been interested in for a while, really enjoying it so far. Nice to see Rupert Grint do a darker, dramatic role. He's so talented. His American accent isn't too bad either. Oh, thank you, Mela Bonbon. Yeah, Servant. Psychological horror that's only like half-hour episodes, and it's all set in this one location. Once Harry Potter finished, it was a real journey of kind of exploring and just seeing what I wanted to do. The accent is a tricky one. I do enjoy doing it. Actually, the word baby is what I really struggle with, which is unfortunate because it comes up a lot in a show about babies. Let's see some YouTube comments. If Rupert is a full-on arachnophobe, how on earth did he manage filming with all the spiders and Chamber of Secrets? Talk about hell. Weirdly, the giant ones don't have the same effect. It's the kind of little ones that can get in your clothes and kind of crawl all over you. At one point, they were going to use a real spider in a scene, and we did a few tests where they put one on my leg. I had a full-on panic attack, and we never did it again. Got better now, my dad. I can kind of force myself to deal with them. Still very much one of my biggest fears. Posted. AS. Ron Weasley may be a Gryffindor, but Rupert Grint is a Hufflepuff. Yeah, that's true. I did the thing where it's this whole algorithm of like quite complex questions, and it sorts you into kind of the house that you're kind of most suited to, and I was Hufflepuff, which I was kind of disappointed about. It just doesn't have the same glamour as like even Slytherin. Replied. Rupert would be such a good villain. Maybe DC like the Joker. What kind of villain roles would appeal most to you? I don't know if there's many ginger villains. Yeah, I would like to do a villain, I think. Jokers are, yeah, I mean, that's a tricky one. I think I've got quite a good, like, smile for something in that world. More core. Is Rupert Grint the voice of Postman Pat? No, I'm not. But I was in the Postman Pat, the movie. I had to sing in that movie, actually. I did a song called Struck by Lightning, and it was heavily auto-tuned. I used to think I could kind of hold a tune, but clearly not. You can barely hear that it's me. Next. What did Rupert Grint keep from the set of Harry Potter? Quite a few things, actually. I have the tie that you get before you get sorted into your house, and my Gryffindor tie. The last days of shooting, there was like, security was like, they were hot, so they really didn't want you to steal anything. But I did get away with a few things. I took Harry's door number off Privet Drive. I had to unscrew it with a little piece of gravel. Very shady, actually. I have like a piece of the chess piece. The thing that Dumbledore leaves all our characters in his will. So I got the Deluminator, which is this thing that like turns off lights in like a magical way. Posted. Time for some TikTok. I'm sorry, how does one get into taxidermy? Yeah, I do have that jar. That doesn't really kind of do it justice. It's a jar of taxidermy mole butts. It's labeled molasses. It's kind of like a stupid pun. It was a gift. I didn't actually buy that. I've got an ostrich skeleton, full size. Go through kind of phases. Pottery was one. I used to carve crayons, like heads into crayons. And beekeeping is another thing I recently got into. That's a good one. I have a lot of downtime, so I'm signing off the internet.
That's great.
Sweet. Cool, yeah? Perfect, thank you.